Testing.
Had something to say about the design of the park and that you would like to have input on the design of the park. So James is going to come and do a presentation to you and explain some of the things that he has come up with to address the issues and give you a look and make sure that you're okay with what we're talking about. Also, one of the things talking about grants and funding, I'm looking at trying to get some funding from other departments, state departments. And one of the things that we could do is if we did like a history of Pasco County and Zephyrhills, and how would we do that? And if we did it, would the money we get be more than the money we had to spend to get that grant? Because sometimes the grant requirements are such that you spend more money meeting the grant requirements than you do getting the funding. So we're looking at that as well. So I just want you to think about that. You know, Hercules Park is based on Hercules Powder Company and the slash pine industry in the 40s. So if we tell the story of cattle and oranges and, you know, citrus in Zephyr Park, what would that look like? And I'm just throwing that out there, something for you to think of.
You go back a minute to you're talking about Swift Mud and that 10-year plan. Does that 10-year plan include drainage further through to the south?
Yes.
You can also talk to Swift Mud, and I don't know, I mean, you can dig that lake deeper with state approval, with Swift Mud approval, and that might be a way to.
That was one of the things we talked about, and trying to get funding is that the water coming into Zephyr Park from Island Boulevard, as the water comes in and it goes out on C Avenue, if it's cleaner when it goes out than when it came in, you know, and it's going to the Hillsborough River, we can get funding to make that happen, and that would include creating something at that weir. So we are looking at that. I'm working with Main Street and their design committee. I'm creating an RFQ. The design committee is looking for public art, for a public artist to do public art. The Chamber of Commerce came to the city and asked about putting a mural on the side of their building. So we're doing the RFQ to hire an artist. One of the things that we would like to do is hire maybe, or put a couple of artists that, you know, maybe one does a mural, one does something, other type of public art, but we've already gone through the public process of hiring them, and that we can use them in multiple projects and not have to do this every time.
Isn't there a lady, because she had a shop or something on Fifth Avenue, I don't know if it's still open, but there was like some artist had the shop, and I know she did like our first mural, Anna maybe?
Anna Bank. Yeah, Anna.
And I think she lives here.
Yes.
I don't know if the shop's still open, but I think she was trying to like bring art to Fifth Avenue. So in my mind, unless there's a bunch of other local artists, if we could kind of help the local people anyway with it, I think that'd be nice.
I think we'll give them, I think the idea is to give anybody local, and local means Pasco County, a couple of extra points on.
Yeah, I would like Zephyrhills to be a couple extra points other than just Pasco County, if y'all agree.
That's fine
If
with
she
me.
has a shop, she's paying taxes, and you know.
And she's done 2 murals here. She did the butterfly in the alley, and she also did a really nice one on that old bike shop, but somebody drove into it.
The issue right now is with Anna is she's on the committee that's doing this. She's helping with the committee. And so, but
Yep.
yes, she's been a tremendous help to
Yes,
us
she-
in working through this. So you'll see more on, and the final design for the chamber building. We also have, the chamber director is on the review committee so that they have input since it's their building, and we'll present it to the CRA board
I
so
have a
you see
question.
it.
When somebody downtown paints their building, does that go through any kind of Main Street review, or they're on their own?
You mean
Yeah,
just
that's a
paint
little
it?
unfortunate
Yeah.
too, because we can't.
Yes, we do not regulate paint.
Okay, I just wondered.
And the thing about it is, I mean, and this is how there's some people here that think I look for too much regulation. It's just paint. It's just paint. And the next owner, the next business will help them paint another color.
No, but, I drove down, when I came to City Hall this afternoon, I drove down 11th Street to check out to see if this older home was still there.
Oh,
And it was, and there is a bright yellow, I
Yes.
mean,
Purple
neon
buildings.
yellow almost.
yes, it's neon yellow.
And then, in the historic district kind of, and it's a historic home. I mean, it's a beautiful home and
Well,
everything,
I-
but
I
I guess
mean,
just paint, okay.
You can direct staff to come up with a paint palette for, you could start at the historic district. And
Yeah, because even the chamber colors. Is that a blue?
no. So, that's something that if you want to direct staff to do, we'll come back with a plan for you, but that will be,
Paint police.
Like anywhere in the CRA district even, because we couldn't do that especially if they're a business, for example. We had that issue with the Hounds Club or whatever, yeah. Turned out they never did the mural, doesn't look like her. But, there was some strife there, and I think
Right.
if the rules are the rules are the rules, then we don't have that drama, yeah.
And
we are redoing the design standards right now, so.
all right, yeah, why don't
we
you
could
put
do
in a
that.
plug for it, and we can at least discuss it. We may not want to do it, it may be too much, and like you said, it's just paint, you can paint over it. And that kind of reminds me too, this is a little bit maybe out of the fence up on the corner here at 9th
Yes.
Street and 6th Avenue.
The wood fence.
The wood fence. Now, I understand that, we don't want chain link, and we encourage people to go to other means, but is that going to be painted or
It has to be
stained?
painted or stained. And because
kind
they
of-
used a pressure-treated lumber, it has to dry or something like that. They have to
30
let it
days.
sit in the elements for 6 weeks. I think that's the story I was told.
That's a true statement.
Somebody who,
Is that a true statement?
is that true?
It's,
They want
it has to cure, basically, for
Cure.
30
Somewhat.
days, yeah.
Yeah, you want it to cure, I guess.
So before it can be final inspection, they have to paint it or stain it. And the other issue, and I've got numerous calls about the fence, the wood fence. The design standards say wood fence, PVC, aluminum, or iron. It does not say which way those boards need to go.
Yeah,
And-
because normally they're vertical.
Right,
not
right. It's a normal,
horizontal.
people think of a wood fence as a stockade fence. And the other issue with the fence is the way the location of that lot is, it's higher on the street than other buildings. I asked Joel to go and measure it and take a picture of the measurement and send it to me so I could show people that the backside was 6 feet. That's what the standard says, and it's 4 feet in the front.
Well, we can't think of everything, can we?
No, but again.
Which one is that?
Up here, across from
behind-
Sam's.
Oh, okay,
Right
okay.
there.
So I might
haven't
ask,
looked at it.
oh, sorry, I was going
just
to
don't
make
wanna
a point
get
that I,
micromanage.
Well, I don't want to
Yeah.
micromanage, but,
I just returned from Kentucky, and, they're very particular about their fences there in Kentucky. And in fact, they had to be painted white for a very long time, and then they changed to black because it was a maintenance issue.
Right.
And you know what I'm talking about, the horse fencing, so, and they treat it with creosote now,
Right.
so that it discourages the horses from gnawing on it. But, they require the fence posts to be horizontal, and so, that's just
I
their
don't believe
look.
he's putting a horse in there. but
No, I don't think so
He
either.
could put a pig in
Well,
there.
and
could put
it's
anything in, we
modern.
wouldn't know.
Not that I am crazy about that fence, but I'll also say, We are in a redevelopment district and in an old neighborhood. And having something that's a little different,
So,
it's not that bad. You know, if everything were the same, okay, but we'll do whatever the CRA board would like us to do. Staff will. If you
I'm worried
want us
about
to make it
fences. No,
staff.
I think we've done enough on fences. I was just wondering
Okay.
if that was going to be treated somehow, that's all.
Yes, all wood fences have to be painted or stained before final inspection. And
Chair, one other quick question. So when we talk about the design guidelines, we're talking about signage, font on the signage, colors, you know, of signage, and then paint. I mean, I think paint would be a good thing to add in there.
piece by piece, we are going page by page, paragraph by paragraph. We are looking at everything because, you know, the first time we did the design standards, we thought we had covered everything that we could possibly cover. And then 3 months into it, it's like, well, we forgot about this, or we didn't think about this. And so we're going back through every single paragraph and trying to make those corrections and make it user-friendly. We want people to understand why we're doing this. So we want it to be user-friendly. And then my last item, last two items. We met with the developer of the Gateway project, planning and the CRA, so that project is moving forward. You will see a sign on the property right next to the Dollar General that says there's a $5,000 rebate on every townhome. Well, that was before we changed the ownership, the residential ownership incentive. So I've got to call into him so he knows that the CRA is no longer offering a $5,000 impact or incentive on the townhomes. So just in case you see it and you wonder, you'll know, or somebody asks you about it, you'll know. And last, as City Manager Post said, Main Street was the lucky recipient of funding from the state appropriations with the help of Senator Burgess and Representative Randy Maggard. They received $1.25 million. The purchase of the theater was $667,000. We have an appropriation in on the budget right now. Hopefully it's not stricken, I guess is the word. So right now, we will close by the end of the month. We have to get insurance on the building. There is a tenant that has a lease until the end of July. So in the meantime, staff is working. I am working on getting an RFQ done because the next step is to hire an architect and an engineer to start planning for the cultural arts center that is the home theater. So that's where we are right now. I'm working on the RFQ to get that out. Any questions?
Talked about design standards, but when we think about that, maintenance standards are probably more important. In other words, there's probably more places around here that are in poor maintenance than there are poorly designed and poor paint color. So I think that's, I don't know if that's a CRA issue or a code issue, but something
It's a code issue, and, you know, we have 2 code enforcement officers, and I'm sure they are doing their very best, but we need to give,
Don't we have 3?
code officers.
Joel and Mike Sutton. Do you get, does the CRA or the city council get the code enforcement report every month?
Used to, I haven't seen one in a while.
Okay, I'll forward last month's to you.
And I know they're busy too, you know.
They are incredibly busy, but we need to look at giving them some tools. Maybe we can give them some tools to help them. So, yes, code enforcement is top of mind.
The other thing I was going to, it's a little bit of a sensitive subject, but what is the status of teen shows right?
They're opened every day. He's trying to, I don't want to say lease, he's working on getting a fruits and vegetable person in the bottom floor of the carriage house. We're working on that because that's in the lease. The lease states that they will
Well,
have
and I
that.
was going to say that I don't know where we're at in the lease term. We got to be over halfway, I would think.
We are.
But that's something I think we could help him out with, rather than him worrying about that. I think we ought to take that portion back over as a city, because, I mean, we're asking him to be the landlord and paying him 10%. That ain't, he's got a restaurant run. Last thing he wants to be is a landlord, so.
Okay.
That's my thought. That's my
I'll
thought
talk
on
to
it.
him about
And
that.
he's had the guy's had a serious pressure, so that's the last thing he needs to worry about.
Well, and there might be some other alternatives for uses for that space that we've kind of tied their hands to.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think that a vegetable stand.
One of the things that they announced is they will close Saturday and Sunday. And I'm not happy about being closed on Saturday. And the lease says that they will be open on Saturdays. So there's a conversation we
Well,
need to have.
we need to revisit the lease then.
Yeah, there's a conversation we need to have.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Next item is the Main Street Activity Report.
And Antoine is not here, and I can give you a brief update. The speakers went through a update, and they are running. Music is playing downtown. We had the class of 2024 graduates parade on Saturday. We're going to continue to work that. It didn't really have as many as we would like, but next year we're going to start early, engage the high school sooner, and get them to buy into it. Sometimes it's hard to get into the high school and get plans made. So we'll start earlier this year, or this coming year. Halloween and Festival of Lights flyers and signups are already on the website, so vendors and participants can sign up. We're going to try and show other parades and people doing floats, because people participating in the parades is waning. Every year it's less and less, and we need to encourage more people to do floats. So we're going to do a public campaign on floats in other small towns and how they did it, just to inspire people to build a float and participate. So everything's going well at Main Street. Numbers are up on Facebook and Instagram. Antoine is doing a wonderful job and working very, very hard. So that's what I have.
Thank you. Questions on me? Thank you. Next item is citizens' comments. Is anybody here who would like to signed up for a citizen comment? No, sir. Would anybody in the audience like to make a comment? Okay, Council. Okay, meeting adjourned.
Till 6.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all.
Hand that down. Thank you.
President?